celebrate the life of Peter Collins, and we all send our love and best wishes and prayers out to the Collins family. I wondered all week what kind of day we'd have. Then I realized with Peter, it wouldn't have made any difference, because he would have been hiking out here today in this cold and wet weather. He would have had his hiking sandals on. He would have called me later on or emailed me to tell me that he found 4 snapping turtles, 3 map turtles, some rat snakes, and he'd be able to tell me all about the different patterns and even down to the genus and species. I wanted to share with you some thoughts about Peter. Peter and I often took walks and hiking trips, and the one that we took to the Potomac River stands out in my mind. We arrived there at 2 in the afternoon. Peter liked to travel equipped. He with his backpack and me with a wheelbarrow full of stuff he was sure we needed. We headed downhill through the woods. It was a beautiful spring day. We crossed paths with a variety of butterflies and birds and a very handsome little brown and orange box turtle. At the riverbed, we spent the day hiking, chasing snakes and minnows in the shallows, looking for fossilized shark's teeth, admiring radiant purple iris growing in the reeds, and watching a dozen or so thirsty black and white striped zebra swallowtails huddled on a piece of pitted driftwood at the water's edge, which Peter would later turn into a painting. At dusk, we built a fire, ate hot dogs and candy bars, smoked a cigar or two, talked about art and nature, and then waded far out into the dark black water, waist high, to catch his proclaimed elusive moonlight monster catfish. We felt like the extreme explorers later as we danced around our raging bonfire and howled at the moon. Now it is after 11 and time to go home. Peter charges ahead up the hill, leaving me to push the wheelbarrow full of our necessities, many which never saw the light of day. On the way up, Peter says we must beware of wild dogs that roam these woods at night, but not to worry too much. It should be all right. I think I hear howling in the distance. I follow Peter's bobbing flashlight and struggle to push the wheelbarrow over rocks and fallen logs in the dimly lit path, and hope that just beyond the light, ravenous canines will not be nipping at my heels. We arrive at the car exhausted and happy and begin our trip home. On the road, we stop at a Wawa for gas, a couple of egg and cheese croissant sandwiches and coffee. Delicious. Peter fingers scan the radio dial for any beating sounds of the international music he dearly loves. We're zooming now. The passing road signs and flickering lights clickety-clack as we continue our curious and contemplative yak fest. Later, Peter has dropped me off at home. It's after 3 in the morning, and I'm sitting on my patio wringing out wet and muddy socks and thinking of my great day of fun and adventure with Peter, one of so many days we would share together. I don't remember exactly when Peter and I first met. His sister Tracy and my daughter Kate were middle school friends. But from the beginning, we shared a common bond, our deep love of art and nature. I think that Peter took his passion for it to a much higher level than I was ever able. He was a thoughtful hunter, a true naturalist, and a deep and free thinker, and molded all of these attributes into being the skilled and gifted artist he became. He listened with his heart to the voices of the wild, knowing the ways of each beast, no matter how majestic or minuscule in their form. All animals were sacred, none were insignificant. In his painting, Peter's splendid draftsmanship might demonstrate his full understanding of the flow and matting of the fur of a lone wolf in the cold of an Arctic winter, or the look of the scorched leathery hide of an elephant in the heat of an African sun. I marveled at the ease, skill, and quick assuredness of his brushstrokes, and the beautiful color palette that was always so Peter. He combined all of this with his great humor, a quick wit, abounding joy, and a gentle kindness and grace he shared with so many people in his life. This is the Peter I know. I will always have him in my life. The hikes and adventures I will take, the paintings and movies I will see, and the art I will create. I will see him in the wild, and I will always feel his strong presence there. I'm sure he is in the kingdom of heaven, and may well be God's appointed plein air painter in residence. Can you see all the beautiful colors? Isn't it awesome? across eternity, it has the Peter touch.